Greetings. Yeah, let's make a road race. This is something a little bit different. I've not done this before. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I've made races before, but I've not videoed me doing it. Okay, the first thing I do when I want to make a new race or new track is to have a look at the map. And yeah, as you can see, it's a little bit cluttered. So let's just get rid of everything, take everything off, and then we can get an idea for areas we might use. So I want to make a circuit, and just here appears to be a reasonable place. Let's see if there's anywhere else. We could do something there, but it's rather long. I want to make something we can have 3 or 4 laps perhaps. That's rather strange. It looks like some sort of animal, doesn't it? But again, it's a bit too big. We could go off-road and shorten it, but I don't really want to do that. I want it to be pure tarmac. So the only place I can see to make a short, purely road track is, up this corner here. So, okay, let's see if we can find a start point. So we'll put back on, okay. Put back on these things. Right, so we've got a road race there. It starts about here. And yeah, unfortunately it covers most of that track. Most of what we're thinking of using as a track, so it's not going to be terribly interesting. Okay. Because there already is an existing track there. Okay. But I guess there has to be, because there's so little road, it's all going to be used, isn't it? What else have we got within that area? Don't tell me there's nothing. There isn't. That is the only possible start place. Down there. I might have to rethink this. Maybe we'll do a dirt track instead. Can we make a circular dirt race? Not easily, not without going off-road. Well, this is a bit of a disaster, isn't it? What about down here? Can we make a circular road race here? Not a small one. Yeah, this is the problem that track makers have. No good there either. Oh well, let's do it anyway. So we'll fast travel there. And we will create a route. I don't think I want to use that. I tend to use something a bit manageable. I'm going to use the Mini 65 in B class. The reason for that, the reason for using the Mini in a lower class is that you don't want to be racing ahead and having to backtrack when you want to make checkpoints. Right, so all we know what we're going to do. We're just going to follow the road. So I tend to place checkpoints at corners so that there's less possibility of taking shortcuts. You don't really want to take shortcuts. And I'm not someone who particularly wants to constrain the size of checkpoints. The checkpoints are there to keep you on the road, but I'm not trying to catch people out with checkpoints. I'm not trying to have them miss them and things like that. Because this track uses the road, I don't feel the need to add furniture like chevrons to indicate the way, although there might be in the map some places where we need to do that. But yeah, that's not... if you're just following the road, it oughtn't be strictly necessary. If we were going off-road, or if there were any junctions, which there might be coming up, towards the end of the race, then yeah, we would do that, but otherwise it's not really necessary. But periodically, especially if we've gone over a crest or something, just check that you can see the previous checkpoint from where you are, which indicates that the driver running the race should be able to see the one that you just placed. Yeah, now that is too far, so we'll just back up. Okay, so a little bit more. Oops, I hit the wrong button there. Right, so let's rewind back. Okay, that'll do it. Yeah, so we can still see the previous checkpoint. Now we might be a little bit too far towards the corner. Now we can place a checkpoint. There's a limit to how close checkpoints can be. And so, yeah, if I'd been too close to the corner, I'd have had to go back and remove that one. Now, whoops, let's just rewind. We don't want the driving line doing that. That would be a better line, I think. One of the problems with custom routes is that the driving line will tell you that you have to slow down. It goes all red, and that's just because the line that was chosen when the route was created is less than optimal. Now, I'm not going to claim to be driving an optimal line here, but I try to stick as close to the line that I would think would be a good line. Yeah, nice straight to the road, so you can see the checkpoint from a good way back. The same here. And you almost don't need checkpoints to guide the way. This really is just to make sure people don't take horrible shortcuts. Don't think a shortcut through the trees would be terribly helpful to anyone, but okay, so that's going to disappear. Yes, we can put one there. Good. That's going to be a horrible line, but I'm not going to go back because it's not. I say horrible. It's not going to be the best line, but it's not so bad that it causes too much confusion. Now, coming up is where we're going to turn right to go back to our start point. I do need to think about whether I need to place a chevron indicating the direction, and I think I probably will. Where is it? Okay, we'll have a checkpoint. No, we won't have a checkpoint there. You can still see the last one. Come across a bit, angle the checkpoint and the driving line so it's a bit clearer. That's not what I want. Okay, let's rewind. Okay, now here I'm going to make this really obvious, or as obvious as I possibly can, that we're going that way. Yeah, so seeing the checkpoint angled in that direction should indicate to the driver that they're expected to turn right. This is a point at which I am going to add some chevrons. because I do want to make it as obvious as possible what's expected. And I'm going to overdo it. I'm going to add quite a few. They don't have to be perfectly lined up, which is probably just as well given the given what's going on. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. What's it going to look like on approach? That's fine. Okay. And I think that's the only one we're going to need. Oh, I'm too far on, so let's rewind. No, that's badly placed. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. I think let's go back a bit further. Okay. Oops. I hit X instead of B. A rather. Right, okay, so we want our checkpoint to be visible from the last one. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, and then I have another one here. It's a small thing, but perhaps you noticed and perhaps you didn't. I placed that last checkpoint just after where there's a right turn onto dirt. Now there it's pretty obvious what's going on. We are, after all, doing a road race. We're not going to go onto the dirt, but that is a little tip that if there is a possible way that the driver could go, that you don't want him to go, then if possible place the checkpoint just after the junction so that there's no possibility. Let me just make sure. You can't see the last checkpoint. I think though by the time they cross that checkpoint they will be able to see it, so I'm going to leave that one as is. Yeah, so if you place the checkpoint after, for example here, there is a possible turn off up there. So if I place the checkpoint here, it's very obvious that you're not expected to go up there. Now nobody will on this particular track, but yeah, as a general rule, it's worth doing that. Do the same here, but in fact I will if I can. Let's just rewind a bit. So there again, we'll make it obvious that this is the way we're going. And remembering to place checkpoints on corners, so it's harder for people to cut them. And we're not far now from the start-finish line, so I need to be a little bit thoughtful about where I put the last checkpoint, as this game does have a habit of ending the editing session, when you're making a circuit, ending the editing session a little bit earlier than you would hope, although it looks like it's going to be honest here. And there it is. Okay, so we'll create a new one. I'm just going to call it Road Circuit. Okay, so we'll create an event with that route. And in general, the first thing I do is check to see how long our route is. It's 3 miles. Now, ideally, we want to keep our routes down to, unless we've got some particular reason, we want to keep it less than 10 miles in total. So that suggests that we're only going to be able to do 3 laps. That's fine. Okay, now the next thing I edit, good, it's already set up for me that it's going to be 1 lap. And the reason I do this, if it was set to something different, I would set it to 1, is for testing purposes, because once you've tested the route, then, once you've done a test drive, then you can make all sorts of changes. You can't change the route, but you can change the distance, you can edit the name and the description and all of that. But I tend to test it just with 1 and then later change the number of laps. It's just quicker. Okay, so we'll drive in the same car. It's only 3 miles. Yeah, this is just while we do the test. We will change the name and all of that as we go. Once we've done this, rather. And the season, I don't particularly want it to be wet. Yeah, the test drive is, I understand why it's there, but when it's a simple route like this, I suppose they wanted to make sure that you can actually get around it. I think if I was to add more furniture, I would be expected to test drive it again, because otherwise, you could put a wall across a checkpoint or something and make it impossible to actually complete the track, things like that. Anyway. Whoops. Well, that's not enough to invalidate the test. It's also quite nice that the AI aren't getting confused, or not yet anyway. I think I'm more confused than the AI. Yeah, so these corners are definitely not optimal. I didn't make a very good job of that at all. Now it's clear here which way we're going. Yes, the driving line's awful, but I wanted to angle checkpoint, so there wasn't really very much option there. So you see in action the checkpoint being after the possible turn off, yeah, there's no mistake. Where's the actual finish? Well, okay, the actual finish was a lot further back from where the game ended, but never mind, I think that'll sort itself out. Okay, so let's give it a name. I'm just going to call it Short Circuit. Description, get rid of all that. This track isn't going to win any awards, I know that, but it's not the intention really. Okay, so the event settings, I want 3 laps to keep it under 10 miles. That means more people will find it if they search. I'm happy with whatever the season currently is. I'm happy with morning. I don't want it to be wet, so let's have it clear. time progression fixed. If it's fixed, then it starts in the morning and it will always be morning. If you have it rolling, then it will gradually go into afternoon, and if the race is long enough, then into evening and night and so on. But let's just keep it fixed. Yes, we'll allow people to rewind. They can use whatever camera view they like. Let's see. There's not going to be anything. Yeah, let's have flowing turns and asphalt. Confirm. Okay, and yeah, we're going to do anything goes and open class, so people can do it in whatever car they like, and yeah, and then we'll publish. Okay, that's done. Right, we will run it just for fun, but before we do, let's just get the share code. So right thumbstick down shows the map and our description, and then right trigger gives us the share code, which, as you can see, there is 242356848, and yeah, let's run it. I just want to see what happens at the finish line, so I'll run the first lap. If nothing interesting happens in the second and third, then I'll skip those from the video, and we'll see what happens at the finish line. Some tracks, when you do this, have a missing checkpoint bug, and if that does occur, I'll show you how to fix it. Right, so that Hot Wheels thingamajig, isn't it? What it's called? One with the... Whoa! Well, that wasn't very good. The devil pushed me off. I can't remember where the checkpoint is either. Is it? Ah, there it is. Good. So we can make it. All right, that's spoiled my race, but yeah. Nice of the helicopter to stay and wait for me, isn't it? I mean, everybody has their own personal helicopter, and it seems to just jump from or fly from checkpoint to checkpoint. And I have got an idea about that, which I think might be a bit of fun, but yeah, that's something for another day. I'm definitely not going to catch those guys after coming off the bridge. I'm wondering whether it needed a chevron just back there, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Oh, maybe I'm going to catch the guys at the back. Of course, that dodgy corner where I went way over to the left, the AI will try and follow the driving line, so that will slow them down. This is the reason that custom tracks aren't terribly competitive against AI, because they do follow the driving line and they follow the braking instructions of the driving line, and so if you've got the braking or the driving line turning red in a place where it shouldn't, the AI will brake, even though you don't, as you can see. Okay, we're on lap 2. We didn't get the phantom checkpoint missed at the end of the first lap, so that's good. That indicates to me that this is good to go. Right, I'll again, unless anything interesting happens, I'll skip to the end of the last lap. Well, despite coming off the bridge, I'm reasonably pleased with this track, how it flows. I think it'll do. You've always got the option, once you get to this stage, to edit the track again, either the route or change the settings. You would need to save it either over the existing event, or you could save it as a new one, try it out, and if you're still not happy, then edit it some more. Yeah, now what happens when we get to the finish? The finish line is invisible, we've crossed it. Yeah, so that's that done. Now there's one thing we could do, which is to put a gantry so that drivers know when they're coming to the end. I should perhaps have done that. I'm not going to do it now. I'm just going to let it end as it does. So anyway, that was a simple road race, a road circuit, which we've managed to keep under 10 miles, so it can be picked up by search, which flows reasonably well. But as far as I can see, it's the only, it's the shortest possible road circuit we can make on this map by a good margin. And yeah, I don't think I could make a circuit of more than one lap under 10 miles anywhere else, and not starting anywhere else either. There's so few start points in this map. It's not really being built with route designers in mind, or route builders in mind. Anyway, right, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please hit that like button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks very much. Bye.